President Obama may have been away from the family today for a speech on the 40 acres, but they will be together again this weekend. The Obamas are going to spend a vacation weekend on the Gulf Coast in Florida. Obama and his wife, Michelle, have repeatedly asked Americans to vacation on the Gulf Coast to give them a break to the tourist industry that has been so damaged by the BP spill.
Kids, this is the very street Wyatt Earp used to keep law and order on.
Seems kind of dirty and touristy.
Oh, Ellen, the Old West was dirty. Everything isn't like home. If everything were like home, there'd be no reason for leaving home, right, Rusty?
Oh, yeah, Dad, this is great. You know, I'm glad we didn't go to Hawaii.
I'll bet you are.
You might remember that one. Yeah, National Lampoon's Vacation, of course, poked a lot of fun at cross-country family trips. But the reality is, compared to a lot of places across the globe, Americans are not getting much time off from work. Now, tonight, we'd like to know what you think about vacation time in America.
Yeah, do you think you get enough? Do you not take all the time that you're actually given? We asked Fox 7 viewers if they think Americans get too much or too little vacation time. And out of the 260 people who responded, 81% said too little. 13% said just enough, and only 5% said too much.
We've also been checking in with you all over the weekend on our Facebook page. And here are a couple comments from you. Dan F., he had this to say: I'm a bartender, so I don't have any paid vacation, just have to get my shifts covered. No pay, but get to play.
Well, Monty G said this, quote, 2 vacations in a 3-month stretch, cut short due to workload. First vacation was a long weekend, had to cut it short by returning 1 day early for an afternoon meeting.
Now, the United States has been called the no vacation nation. In 2007, the Center for Economic and Policy Research said the U.S. is the only advanced country that doesn't guarantee vacation and paid holidays. Some countries give workers up to 2 months off each year, while Americans working for private companies, they average about 15 days total.
Yeah, so if you're feeling a little overworked these days, there's good reason for it.
Yeah, but for some, work is such a way of life that taking time off just isn't part of the plan. Fox 7's James Irby looked into the issue and is here with more on that. James.
Mike and Loriana, most people will admit a break from work every once in a while is good for you. But when you run your own business, it's hard enough being the person who's accountable for everything involved with that enterprise. So just the mention of a vacation makes Desmond McDermott feel like he's losing ground.
So for cheese, ketchup, mustard, mayo?
Yeah. With each and every burger served up at Desmond McDermott's downtown burger stand, he feeds his passion.
I just love feeding people. It's just about handing you a plate full of food and manja.
McDermott says he hasn't taken a vacation in 20 years because he doesn't have time, working 75 to 100-hour weeks. He opened up just before South by Southwest in February next to the convention center on Trinity and cranked out 3,900 hamburgers in 10 days.
I can't turn it off. And if I was on vacation, I'd be there, wherever it would be, thinking about how to make this better.
For McDermott, vacation is like 2 4-letter words crammed together. Time away for him is like passing up on an opportunity.
Then you lose it. Then you're not caught up. Then you need to catch back up and get back into stride. If you step out of the way and then you let it keep going, you got to jump back in, and that's another thing about vacation. Look what you missed while you were gone. The world could have changed.
McDermott's not alone in his workaholic ways. According to the report, No Vacation Nation, published by the Center for Economic Policy and Research, in the United States, 1 in 4 workers have no paid vacation, and in the U.S., there is no guarantee of vacation days, though many companies do offer paid time off. This while European workers are guaranteed 20 paid vacation days. Worldwide, the United States sits alone amongst advanced economies with no annual paid holidays and leave, and that includes Japan, Canada, the UK, France, Italy, Spain, and Austria. With the unemployment rate at 9.5%, paid vacation and paid leave is not what many people have the luxury to look for when they're just looking for a job.
I got 4.5 years experience, and to me it came really natural.
Leonora Rodriguez says zero pain is her goal when she draws blood. So as she searches for a job at the WorkSource office as a phlebotomist, she's hoping her technique helps her land the kind of job where she can use her gifts.
I know that I can relax them and distract them, and usually when the first thing they do when they sit down, they're so nervous. And then I've actually had one pass out on me before.
Rodriguez says vacation is not at the top of her job priority list, but admits a little time off will allow her to spend time with her family, her 2 sons, refreshing and helping her relate to her toughest customers.
Oh my God, especially the kids. Oh, the first thing they do when they see the needle, they start crying.
What's your trick?
Actually, distraction.
1240.
As for Mr. Nonstop McDermott, his life is like his burgers. Just not right if they're not piled high with the work.
I dream when I sleep. I'm okay. That's my vacation night.
All right, McDermott says he works 6 days a week, so Sunday is his vacation. He says his passion makes up for all the work that he does because he says when you love it, it's not really work at all. Mike and Loriana.
That's right, that's passion, James. Thank you very much for that. To get a little more perspective on this, we want to welcome Courtney Anderson. She is a human resources specialist. And also Charles McInerney, who is a yoga instructor. He focuses on lifestyle balance. And Courtney, I'd like to start with you. First of all, thanks for joining us, both of you. You know, in James's story, some of these European countries have a lot of days off, mandated vacation. Courtney, it seems to work for them. Why couldn't it work for us? What's wrong with that, doing it that way?
Well, it certainly could work for us. It's something as a country we'd have to decide that we want to do. We want to invest in a massive change to our federal legal system and compel employers to mandate paid vacation days. And just sitting here listening, I mean, 20 vacation days sounds wonderful, 30 vacation days sounds wonderful, but like the gentleman in the piece who runs the hamburger shop, I'm self-employed. So I don't really have that luxury, but it's something we can certainly explore as a country.
Yeah, I know it's something that some Democrats have tried to get through Congress. They haven't done it yet, quite yet. Charles McInerney, talk a little bit about the value or the importance of vacation. I mean, I think we all know it on the surface, oh, I had to get away for a while. But does it go beyond that, the value of going on vacation or taking time off?
Yes, it does. Studies show, and you can verify this for yourself, that we are hardwired for our brains to speed up into a stress response almost instantly. A phone call from a child at 4 in the morning will wake you wide awake immediately and put you in a threat position. To relax can take days, sometimes even 2 or 3 days on vacation before you even start to relax. And it's important for us to be in that relaxed state for a good portion of our time. In biofeedback, they call it alpha or theta. And alpha is where we're creative and where we have our big breakthroughs. And when we move up into a fast frequency, as in beta, which is a stress response, which occurs when we're overworked, we tend to make more cognitive mistakes. There are more accidents at work in the workplace. People, when they are stressed, become more aggressive and territorial. So there's a lot of downsides to it. They're just harder to measure. We can measure productivity, but it's very hard to measure soft targets like employee loyalty and morale, which are equally important to a company.
All right. Let me ask this question to the both of you, starting with you, Courtney. You know, we've heard numbers of, you know, in Europe. In Asia, you know, some countries, no vacation whatsoever. What's the best number? What's the correct number for, I mean, you know, how many vacation days should we have? What's the right number?
Oh my goodness, I wish I knew. We all have our own ideal vacation. Some of us have vacation at work that we don't even use. I mean, that's a very sobering statistic that a lot of Americans, and even in your study, 81% of people said, I don't have enough vacation time, but then there's thousands and thousands and thousands of hours of vacation that aren't even taken. I certainly agree that for the stress, a lot of us want to look at other alternatives. Maybe we can't afford to take a vacation, but we can take a little mental vacation or do something that we enjoy. I think right now the focus of our legislation should be on creating jobs. And I think after we kind of get our economy back on its feet and companies have enough money to hire extra full-time employees, then we can talk about adding extra wonderful, I mean absolutely wonderful benefits like paid vacation where we can go and get into that alpha
It's
rest.
a wonderful thing.
It sounds wonderful.
Yes. Charles, is there a right number out there? How many vacation days should people get, you think?
Well, I think that depends on the individual and the company, ultimately. However, I think companies and individuals tend to be a little short-sighted. Italy gets 42 vacation days a day paid, and yet their productivity, they export twice per capita what the U.S. exports. Germany gets 35 paid vacation days, and yet they're still able to produce, giving 4 times the exports of the United States on a per capita basis. So I think you can have your cake and eat it too. The idea that working longer hours is going to increase productivity belies the fact that a poor judgment can cost a company more than we like to acknowledge. You can ask BP about that.
I think many people would agree with that point of view. Charles McInerney and Courtney Anderson, we want to thank you both for coming by and lending your expertise to this ongoing debate that people would like to see more of. Thank you both very much for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Hey, real quickly, to recap tonight, vacation time in America, it's a bit of a good news, bad news. According to the Wall Street Journal, Americans are expected to spend $76 billion this summer. And while that's good for the economy, the actual psychological and physical benefits are only short term. A recent study reported that just a week after returning from work, people's levels of stress and sense of well-being returned to where it was before they ever went on vacation. Now, to combat that, researchers say once you get home from vacation, plan your next vacation. Having that to look forward to actually improves the moods of people who took part in that study. Stay with us. We'll be right back.